Nancy Pelosi is at it again. So she had a total worth of $38 million worth of transactions. And I'm going to be breaking it all down for you guys here in detail so you have a full understanding of what she did. And when I mean that she did it, it's actually her husband, right? Because she is a politician, she has to report, or any of her immediate family has to report any trades that they actually take. So it says Nancy Pelosi's husband made a $38 million worth of stock trades in week leading up to Trump's inauguration, or in weeks, because it really started on the 31st of December. Now, let me explain. A lot of these transactions, I'm going to try to zoom on in. And again, please feel free to do your own due diligence. One thing that we made sure that we want to highlight is that a lot of these transactions that you can see right here from Apple stock, nvidia stock, it says sold. So a lot of people might be thinking, oh man, okay, she's selling Apple, she's selling nvidia, it might be time to sell. Well, again, look at the specific dates. It's either a week before or the day before the end of the year, right? So a lot of people do this for tax harvesting reasons. Again, everyone has their own reason on why they would close and then later open, because you might be like, all right, she might be done with nvidia. She is selling 10,000 shares of nvidia stock on December 31st, or she's selling 31,000 shares of Apple stock on December 31st. But then if you fast forward just a week or 2 weeks, you could see that then she purchased more of that same stock. I actually don't know if it's actually disclosed on this specific one, but then it quickly highlights that not only did she purchase call options for nvidia, but she also purchased call options, which means that she thinks that the price is yet to go up. She says $500,000 worth of call options for the parent company of Google, known as Alphabet, as well as Amazon and nvidia, according to public records. So pretty much she closed out her trades at the end of the year. And then as the new year started, again, we don't know specifically why, but traditionally or historically speaking, it's for tax harvesting reasons that someone would liquidate those positions right before the end of the year and then open pretty much almost the same positions or a leverage weight of those positions for Alphabet, Amazon, and nvidia. Those are pretty common sense companies. And Nancy Pelosi and her husband are not dumb people, right? If you saw who was at her inauguration, you have Meta, which really surprises me that she didn't jump into Meta. She might already be fully invested in Meta. You got Jeff Bezos, Amazon, CEO of Google, right? So, and then Elon, right? She didn't purchase any Tesla or any more Tesla. But if you look at the filing, I just thought it was pretty funny. Amazon, nvidia, and then Google. And then it also talked about her potential shares of Apple, which was also funny because you got Tim Cook that was also there. So I think this highlights it, where you have Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Google. You have Sam Altman, who is, if I'm not mistaken, the CEO of ChatGPT or what is it called? OpenSea, something like that. And then, yeah, you just had a bunch of billionaires. You had Tim Cook, who's the CEO of Apple. So obviously, her being very involved, her having a better understanding of, okay, if these billionaires are there to support Trump, most likely, we could possibly see their companies thrive for the maybe next 4 years. Is that exactly what's going to happen? Nothing has to happen, but I'm guessing that is an assumption that we can make. The only thing that kind of stood out for me is this new one. And this is the one that really pisses me off. Please let me know down in the comment section. Like, it's a theme, and it's a infamous theme of, hey, Nancy Pelosi is buying something we should all buy. Like, they view her as the greatest trader of all time. Like, we say it as a meme, but it's gotten to the point where, check this out. This is why, in my opinion, politicians or their immediate family should not be allowed to invest in the market. And again, I will explain a little bit more at the end of this video, but Tempest AI, did you guys ever hear about it? Well, it IPO'd last year, right? Again, I didn't hear about it. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter about myself or maybe you have $50,000 to $100,000 worth of this. She purchased it on January 14th, 2025. And if I'm not mistaken, she purchased 50 call options, which isn't anything crazy, right? It's a pretty small position. But this is just the part that pisses me off, because from when it was announced to the next trading day, right, of when it was made public, it gapped up. And from $30, which if I'm not mistaken was, if she initiated on the 14th, at that point on the 14th, where are we trading at? At lows of $30. So you are telling me that from when she purchased to the current now trade price, it's up 58%. And she has call options, which means that she's probably up even more. Now, does she have to execute them or convert them as of right now? No. But she obviously has an influence because I looked into it. TEM or Tempest AI had no new news that caused it to spike up other than Nancy Pelosi purchased. So her purchasing now has become so famous and so influential that now she is causing, anytime that she announces a purchase or a sell for these money markets, to be moved. And again, it's such a simple way that these politicians can enrich themselves. Her husband has an amazing track record, and you might be saying, Ricky, they're human, right? They should be able to do their own thing. In my opinion, and in the position that America is in right now, especially, right, everyone wants to talk about the separation of the upper and the lower class. Why can we just not have politicians do their job? Nothing else. And if that is not enough for them, if they're like, well, no, if you're not going to allow me to invest or have a business on the side, then I don't want to be a politician. Great, then don't do it. I truly do believe it should be black and white. It should be very easy to understand what you can do and what you cannot do. And if you're not okay with those rules or regulations, then don't be a politician. But things like this, again, directly act as a positive catalyst for them and their ability to enrich themselves. Well, Ricky, she's established herself. Well, there's a track record. This is her husband. It's all BS. It's just now it's gotten to a point where companies, we don't know, right? The conversations that she has. What if these companies can get in contact with her and be like, hey, we'll give you even more ownership or shares on the back end. Just announce that you're purchasing a small amount. Because you purchase, it will act as a positive catalyst, cause the stock price to go up. We can liquidate those shares, and we can make millions, hundreds of thousands, or tens of millions of dollars. Again, we do not know what happens behind closed doors. I'm not saying that she is doing this, but you also can't say that she is not, because we can directly see the influence that she has. I mean, she literally has a Warren Buffett effect. If Warren Buffett invests in a company and it's announced, everyone wants to invest in it, right? How is this any different now? But now we're doing this with politicians, and they are using the position that they are voted into for their own, personal gain, to enrich themselves. And again, it's not just her, but I think that Trump's meme coin is another great example. Oh, but Ricky, he didn't purchase this meme coin when he was president. He knew exactly what he was going to get into. He knew exactly what policies he was working towards to put in place to potentially better establish crypto. With that being said, why would we ever, again, it's a conflict of interest. It's a direct way for him to enrich himself. He knows he's going to be in the most powerful position ever in the world, the president of the United States. Why would we ever allow someone to be able to create something like this than to create regulations for this that can better establish it? And then let's say that, well, what if most of America no longer wants crypto? But again, this is a direct way that he can enrich himself. So maybe he would be less inclined to get rid of it because of his own personal gain or influence or effect that it might have on him. Again, we need to draw a line of what is okay and what is not. It's just, I don't care if you're a Republican, I don't care if you're a Democrat. You guys know who I voted for, and you know that I didn't vote for the lady, right? But if we're going to hold these politicians, or if we want to hold these politicians like Nancy Pelosi accountable, how is Trump any different? You can try to come up with any excuse, but it's all the same. It is a conflict of interest. They are creating rules, laws, and regulations that will directly impact the American people and what is allowed and what is not allowed. And by them being able to invest and create and partake in these money markets, they are able to personally benefit from it. But at least for now, it is all legal, right? This is where we, again, if we really have an issue with it, then we can continue to try to vote against it. So as of now, again, we do track these politicians' trades every single Monday. It's the first link in the description down below. We send out a newsletter. It's absolutely for free, and we send it once a week. If you want to be kept up to date with what Nancy Pelosi and every other politician is doing, again, first link in the description down below. Just enter your email and we send you a newsletter that's just a nice little picture of all the different companies and all the different politicians that are buying and selling. We make it super simple, super easy. It's visually appealing. And if you ever have any questions about that, just feel free to comment down below. Hope that earned your thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.